In this unprecedented time, when so many of hip-hop's greats are dying from health issues, depression, mental illness, drug and alcohol abuse, whether they're young or middle-aged, I wanted to share my love for martial arts and a more healthy lifestyle and be the bridge between the hip-hop community and the martial arts one. Come roll with me as I journey to get healthier and learn more of the martial way. This is Rolling with Ronin. What up, DJ j-ronin, and this is All Elements TV with another episode of Rolling with Ronin. I'm your host, DJ j-ronin, and today we are in Holtsville, Long Island at Authentic Shaolin, here with Shifu Greg Zilb.
What's going on, guys?
You know, he's my fellow DAOS rep.
Yes.
Very respected martial artist, kung fu teacher, and, you know, I've seen you hold your own with many people on your videos. Yep. You know, you know your traditional forms, your weapons, but you also fight.
Yeah.
Sanda. I've seen your Sanda seminars at DAOSCon.
Yeah.
So, you know, it stands out. It's very different than certain kung fu schools that I know. You know, I'll get up with certain guys who'll be, oh, I've been training at this school for 10 years. And I say, okay, cool, let's spar a little bit.
Nope.
Oh, no, we don't spar. Okay, let's do some sticky hands. Let's do some.
Nope.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Just forms and drills?
Yeah.
And to me, that's...
So that's it.
Yeah.
So, that's why Kung Fu has a really bad rep, is because 80% of them, and I'm saying that gently, 80% of the Kung Fu stylists out there don't fight. You know, my teacher brought us up with forms, weapons, and fighting. So if we loved forms and we loved weapons, we had to fight. And that was something that he instilled in all of us, and I make sure I instill that in all of my students. Because if you can't fight, if you can't correlate what you're doing, when you boil everything down, whether it's karate, ju-jitsu, taekwondo, MMA, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, whatever you're training, when you take all the flashy stuff out and you boil everything down, it's all about fighting. It's all about teaching you how to fight. It's all about understanding the warrior aspect of what we do. That's what martial arts is. I mean, it's
martial,
got war.
God of war.
It's got its weapons. It's got its history. It's got its peace. It's got its learning how to be a good person, how to be productive in today's society. But when you boil it down, it's all about teaching you how to fight, right? That whole, rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war, right? So it's that whole concept right there that tells you everything that we should be doing and understanding.
I'm going to paraphrase a quote from one of my teachers, Chief Professor Damian McLeod. He said, doing martial arts and not sparring is like standing on an ironing board thinking you know how to surf. You know,
that's good. My teacher used to say, you had two doctors, right? One was book smart. One understood the book back and forth. He could read you every paragraph and everything else. The other one was kind of book smart, but had more application on people. Who would you want to do the surgery? The guy who just read the book, or the guy who touched hands and touched bodies?
The guy who's done a lot of surgeries,
of course.
Experience.
Of course. So the experience is what's guiding us through the martial arts. And I think in today's society, that has really been a wash, because people are getting black belts in 2 years. People are not really understanding what black belt means, black sash means.
Children are getting them at 9 years old
yeah, of
and
course,
acting like...
Of course. That's not my forte. And
Yeah.
I have friends who own schools that believe in that, and that's okay, because there's a place for everything. But that place is not here. We don't follow that. I don't believe in that. I have my codes, and I stick to my codes.
Understood.
As much as I could.
Speaking of your martial arts experience, talk a little bit about where you're from, how you grew up, and how you got into martial arts, and then your lineage and whatnot.
So
that's a long question.
Yeah, that's a really
go into
that's
it.
a really long question. I'll try to paraphrase as much as I can. I started when I was 10. You got a lot of these people out here telling people that they started when they were 5 and everything else, and to understand that concept, and I'm just going to revert back to that really quick. A lot of people, they're like, yeah, I started when I was 5. You might have been playing with Kung Fu G.I. Joes when you were 5. But when did you really start training, right? Because unless your father owned a school, right, it's very, very difficult to have somebody who's been training at 5 years old and being consistent. Normally, people, they start at 5 years old, they stop when they're 10, they start back up when they're 17 or 20, and that doesn't mean, so yeah, you started at 5, but you don't add all the rest of that and the stuff that you missed, the years that you missed. So you can't do that, right? So, but a lot of people do to fluff up their years of experience. I started when I was 10. Prior to that, my mom died when I was 7. I was a basket case. My father sent me away to Canada to my aunt's. I lived with my aunt for a year or 2. I came back. My father said I was either going to end up in juvie, or I had to go to like a military type school or whatever.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, either it was going to be one of those. I was going to end up really in a bad place. So my father said that we got to find you a martial arts school. My first teacher was literally right down the road. And we grew up really, really poor. So, back then, we had enough for a couple of months to try it out, and I ran out of funds. My father ran out of funds, and my teacher, Moses Sorocho, he's the one who got me into Shaolin. He let me train at the school for free as long as I washed the floor before I came in and washed and took care of the floor after. And that was my payment for training. And I was allowed to train, and I was very, very lucky that my teacher did that. Throughout the years, my teacher brought me to other instructors, and that's the way cross-training should happen. Cross-training shouldn't be you going from one camp to another. Your teacher should be bringing you there because your teacher knows other instructors that have certain skills that maybe he wants you to have, and you're not just blindly walking into another school and not knowing what you're doing, right? So kind of keeping it in the family, and that's where I grew up. I was training with Shijiao George Creighton Jr. And Zong Shi, later on they called him Zong Shi, but he was always Shijiao to me. Shifu Raul, when I was 13, 14, my teacher brought me to him, and I got to train with Shifu Raul. I got to train with Shijiao Creighton. And then while I was training with Shifu Raul and Shijiao Creighton, Shifu Kwang was watching me apparently for a good 15, 20 years. And one of his students, Shifu Jonathan, talked to Shifu Kwang, and Shifu Kwang asked me to be a student of his. And that's how that happens. A lot of people, they don't really understand the cross-training is great. There's nothing wrong with cross-training. There's something wrong with cross-training if it's going to contradict things that you're learning. So your teacher, for me, I know my teacher knew best. So my teacher introduced me to these instructors. And then I ended up discipling with these instructors as well. And our lineage is really strong because of that. Right now, I'm a ninth generation 7-star Mantis disciple under Shifu Raul Ortiz. I'm a 35th generation Shaolin disciple under Shifu Kwang, who's under Shigulin. So there's a lot of pedigree there. You know what I mean? So yeah. So it's good. It's good. My total of training has been for 44 years now, and it's been consistent 44 years. So I was a dojo rat. I was in the school every day, training every day for hours and hours and hours. competing every weekend. I would go to these tournaments every single weekend. My teacher would bring me everywhere. Bronx, I was in the Harlem. I was everywhere, everywhere. And it was great. It was a good experience. I got to train and fight in Thailand. I got to train and fight in Puerto Rico. I got to train and fight in Philippines. I got to train and fight all over. So it was a very good experience for me.
Did you compete in all kind of stuff, like fighting as well as forms?
Forms, weapons, and fighting. Forms, weapons, and fighting.
What about self-defense techniques? Not as much.
So we did do self-defense techniques, but when it came to most of the self-defense that we did, it was usually like a 2-man set type self-defense.
Right. Okay.
So that's what we did. But for the most part, it was forms, weapons, and fighting, and that was it. And then it was, we started off with the point fighting in the 80s because it was really hardcore and it was really strong. So we did that. And then there started to be more Kung Fu tournaments where it was continuous fighting. So the continuous fighting is different, right? Because there's no points, there's no point per se. It's just fight. And you fight for 2 minutes. And at the end of the round, they decide who wins. And there's usually 2 rounds, right? And then if there's a tie between those 2 rounds, then there's a 3rd round. And that's continuous fighting. That's what I was brought up with, continuous fighting and Sanda. And to me, the Sanda now is very different than what Sanda was 20 years ago. Sanda now it's almost like it recreated itself, and it's more of a kickboxing slash, like a, I want to say it's just like a kickboxing slash boxing slash, maybe a couple throws here and there that they use from Sui Jiao and everything else. And back then it was utilizing your Kung Fu techniques, right? Because if we have to understand, and I know I'm all over the board right now, but you have to understand that Kung Fu fighting is not what we remember as Shaw Brothers, Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock, watching 5 Deadly Venoms. That's not how Kung Fu stylists fight.
It's too slow.
Well, but it's that rhythm. There's no broken rhythm. It's like that constant rhythm of movement back and forth, and and it looks great, but that's not how people fight. So then you see people like when I'm doing techniques and I have to wear 16-ounce gloves, I don't want to hurt nobody, and we're going through techniques, and I'm doing the techniques, I'm applying these drills and these pulls and these techniques that we do. And that's what Sanda was, along with the grabs, the throws, and the tosses, right? So the 4 pillars of any kind of Kung Fu style is Ti, Da, Na, Shui. Ti, Da, Na, Shui. Ti is kicking, right? Da is punching. So Ti, Da, Na is locking and holding and bringing your opponent down. And Shui is to throw, right? So Ti, Da, Na, Shui. So those are 4 pillars. And if you don't have those 4 pillars, your Kung Fu is missing something. It's lacking something. And that's where my teacher tried to make sure that everything that we do has that understanding of Ti, Da, Na, Shui.
It's not really a complete fighting art if it's missing.
If you're missing something, yeah, absolutely. And some teachers are not good at certain things, so they don't. And I'm sure it's the same in karate, right, and everything else. That if they're missing something, they'll do something else, or they'll apply something else, and they won't really focus on that as much, right? And then the system starts to lack in that area, and it starts to miss in that area. And I think what we want to do, and what my teacher wanted for his students, is to be better than him, right? That's the goal, for us to be better. Because if we're not, then the lineage of that, the head of the dragon dies, because your students are never going to be better than you. I want my students better than me. So I make it hard. So I make sure that I'm sparring still at 54. I'm still sparring on the floor. I'm still on the floor training, leading from the front as much as I can. There's aches and pains and everything else. And,
as you get older. And you got 11 years on me. I'm 43.
Yeah. So, and my teacher's 65. And Shifu Kwang is 72 years old, and he's jumping around like a jelly bean. And we do these jumping classes, and he's washing all of us out. You know what I mean? It's at 70, man. Wow. So it's amazing. It's amazing. And that's inspiration, because people are leading from the front. And if you want to be better than them, well, that means you got to work harder, right? So every day is another day that we get to train and work hard.
So Shifu, tell me a little bit more about your school, the location, how you got started, and what do you guys do here?
All right. So when I started, my teacher, I was 20 years old. My teacher was like, "You need to open up a school." So I was like, "All right, I got to figure this out." So I grew up in Farmingville, out here in Suffolk County.
I know Farmingdale.
Right.
I know Farmingville.
So Farmingville was called Little Portugal.
Okay.
So I grew up with a bunch of my friends, and they were Portuguese.
Okay.
I was actually part of what they call Darancho. Darancho is a traditional Portuguese dancing, that they do in Portugal.
Wow, I just came back from over there.
And I was part of what they call Darancho.
Okay.
And I think I was the only white kid that was.
Even though you're Jewish, you're not Portuguese at all.
At all.
Okay.
But all my friends were Portuguese.
Right.
My friend Phil was Portuguese, and he was part of it. And I just wanted, I was part of the community.
Yeah.
I worked, my first job was at the Algarve, which is a restaurant in Farmingville, and I was a dishwasher. That was my first job.
That's a region in Portugal.
Yes, it is.
That was
yes,
just that.
yes, Algarve.
Yeah.
And
Lagos. I was just there.
nice. Yeah, my friend Phil is actually from Porto.
Okay.
Porto.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. So I'd wash dishes, and the weekend we'd go next door and we'd dance in the Portuguese club that was there, right? So that was my life for a long time. My teacher wanted me to own a school, and I knew one of the owners, one of the people that was part of the community owned a building, and he had a vacant basement. So he told me, if you can get students in there and you can pay me a certain amount of money every month, I'll give you 6 months to get it straight. You have to build everything, and if you can get it all going and you can get the payments to me, I'll write you a lease and you could stay.
Nice. And that was the first school.
That was my first school. So I went and got a Home Depot card for $2,000. I got a $2,000 credit for the Home Depot card. I had enough for plywood, for paint, for walls. I built the whole school with $2,000. And built my school at that point. 6 months, I was able to pay him his rent, and my school was off and running. So that was my first school. So I was there.
And that was in Farmingville.
That was in Farmingville. So I was there up until 2000.
Okay.
And then he was moving back to Portugal, and I still had 6 years on my lease, and I wasn't going anywhere. But the guy who was buying the building didn't want me in there, so somebody called the fire marshals, and they ended up getting me out of the building. So
what'd they say?
Cease and desist, because the basement wasn't finished. I finished the basement, but I didn't have any. There was no codes or anything like that. So this was back in the day. So it was a little shabby. I ended up talking to the other owner. Well, not the first owner.
Right.
And I still had 6 years on my lease. So that if I bring that to a lawyer, he would owe me money because I still had 6 years on the lease.
I mean, traditionally they would pay you out.
Yeah, so he ended up paying
thousands of dollars.
So he ended up paying me out, and they ended up moving to Ronkonkoma.
Okay.
So now I was in Ronkonkoma for a couple of years. I had a storefront. Really, it was a little smaller than what we had. Now that was good for a little while, and then unfortunately there was a school down the road that one of the teachers was doing something wrong with one of the students. And what happened is that anybody that was on that road, that was a martial arts school, was tarred with the same brush, right? Wow. Because it was is that the school that's in Ronkonkoma or whatever? And
it probably wasn't even a kung fu school, probably a taekwondo.
It was actually, I think it was just a karate school, and it was just a karate school. So I told my landlord, I'm like, I got to get out of here because I don't want to be tarred with this. I said I have a great reputation and I don't need that on my head.
Right.
So the minute I found out that happened, I packed my bags and found this school. And we've been here at this location for 18 years now.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's big open mat.
Yeah.
As you can see, you get a little background.
So originally the floor under here is cement. And originally all we had was carpet.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, we just trained in carpet. Carpet, cement, throws, sweeps, rolls. These were old school. And then what happened was we eventually got mats. So I got mats, and they're okay. We're gonna probably end up
straight mat.
Yeah, this is I guess it's a 2-inch mat. These are like the tatami mats.
Okay.
But what we're gonna end up doing is getting those 1.5-inch puzzle piece mats. We're going to do puzzle piece. Nope, we're going to do puzzle piece. We're going to get rid of these.
Why?
Because the puzzle piece mats actually look like wood. so that you can have them look like a wooden floor. I'm good with that. And it's a little harder to, it's harder when you get thrown on it, but that's okay.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Yeah. These
know,
mats are a little too.
You don't like that bounce?
Nah.
Oh man. I do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, so that's the Japanese jiu-jitsu, man. You guys get thrown hard, so
right.
I'm sure that the tatami mats are nice for you.
What we do in our school, we have a layer of tires, and then wooden boards on top of the tires, and then the mats on top of that.
Oh, nice.
So it has a nice
Yeah.
Which is nice when you're getting thrown over someone's head and
Yeah.
But I hear you.
Yeah.
You want it more old school. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I don't know if I want to get thrown 20 times.
Yeah.
I'm that mad.
Yeah. But that's it. So now we run our school. We run our school here, and it's been great. We've been very blessed to have this area. I'm also a mechanic by trade.
Oh, nice.
So I've got all my.
So you got a fancy car back there?
Yeah, I got my little car, my little toy back there, and all my tools are on the other side. So
nice.
Pretty much a full-time mechanic if I need to be.
Nice.
Yeah, so it works out really well. So it's all in one spot. So I'm very, very happy.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and that's it. We got our bags that we hit. My students fight. Regardless of any other schools that don't out there, or the kung fu schools that don't,
Right.
It's a shame, because we just came back from the Boogie Down Bronx. We just came back from Grandmaster Jerry Fontanez's tournament.
Right.
My wife, who is filming right now, she was fighting black belts and she's only an orange sash.
Wow.
So they didn't have anybody in her division. So,
but you're a fighting school, so I'm sure you did pretty good.
Yeah, she got second place. So she did well. She did awesome. So you know what? We got there, and out of all the kung fu schools, our school was the only school that's wrong. So out of all the kung fu schools, our school fought, and then there was another school that fought. There was only one guy from that school. So there was only 4 kung fu guys at this whole tournament, and all these kung fu guys talking how they're great and they want to fight and everything else, and nobody showed up to show their skills. You know what I mean?
Right.
And mind you, kung fu guys normally don't do very well at karate tournaments anyway. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But you know what? There was so much love there, and I went there, and we went there. We had a really, really good time, and I got to see all the people I used to fight with, and all the people I used to compete with, and competing with them, and I just felt the love, and it was great.
Did you compete as well?
Yeah, I did. I got first in weapons, first in forms, second in fighting, and had a really good time, man.
Nice.
Had a really good time. So, yeah.
Speaking more of the school, do you have other instructors here as well?
I do. So, under me in the 34 years that I've been running the school, I only have, I would say, maybe 12 black sashes, 12 to 15 black sashes. One of them is in Myrtle Beach, and the other one is in Massachusetts.
Okay. I think he's near...
Shifu Gary is in Massachusetts.
In Worcester,
Oxford.
right?
Yeah, he's in Oxford, which is right near Worcester. Right. Yes.
I was reading about that because I have my godson out there.
Yes.
And someday I'd like to send him over there.
Yeah, because Shifu Gary is under me, and he has a student, Elliot, who's in Maynard. And Shifu Elliot is under Gary. So we're growing. So we have that. I got a student out in I got a black sash out in Arizona, and he's running a part-time school, and he's got one student that he's working with now. He just got his black sash. He was been with me for 20 some odd years. He finally got his black sash, and he's got one student out there now, and he's doing great. So
very nice.
We're growing.
How did you get involved with Daily Art of Survival? And I know you were on the cover for one of the issues.
Yeah, 17th edition.
I have that one.
Edition.
I meant to bring it to get it signed, but I did not.
At the end, I have one here. I'll sign it for you. So
okay, I'll give you one back if you want.
You don't have to give me one back. But yeah, so one day Shifu Raul called me up and told me, he's like, look, I want you to call Sadoshi, Nathan Ingram.
Right.
Tell him you're one of my disciples, and just get to know him.
Right.
So I called him up and we talked, and I got to know him a little bit, and I was helping him a little bit with the magazine and doing some video editing and stuff like that, and little by little we started to really get to know each other, and then I started to really want to become part of this, because the Deadly Art of Survival magazine. Now you have Black Belt magazine, you have Kung Fu magazine, you have Shaolin magazine, you have Wushu magazine, you have all these different you got all these magazines that are out there, but a lot of them just kind of cater to all the Hollywood life and all that stuff, and people were buying the magazines because they wanted to see all the Hollywood people.
And Brucey's on the cover every
other issue, exactly. So unfortunately, you're missing all of the people on the East Coast that work their ass off, and you're missing all the people everywhere else that are working really hard to promote martial arts. DAOS is that magazine. You've got these people that normally you wouldn't know, and now that you open up the magazine,
that's how I met you.
Yeah, you get to read about these people and go, wow, that life almost was like mine. Like I can relate to that person. I can relate to why they got started and how they got started and everything else. And that's a big thing. That's a really big thing. So Deadly Art of Survival magazine is a magazine that does that really grabs people from all over, all different races, all different beliefs, and pulls them all together and says, look, these guys work really hard, check them out, and you make the choice of what you feel about that. They're giving you their life. They're putting their life on a plate for you to take a look at and observe and read and see who they are.
Yeah, there's so many instructors that never got that spotlight, and that's what it's about. So many unsung heroes.
Yeah.
And here at Ronin, I grew up training, took a long break, became a chunky DJ, and I came back to it. It's been about 9 years consistent training, at least 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
And but so many people in the hip hop community and the hood in general are dying from drugs, alcohol abuse, just not taking care of themselves, diabetes, preventable things.
Dude, I grew up in the 80s. I was part of Long Island Breakers. I was I was in it. We were on the weekends and we were breakdancing on
breaking.
Yeah, I was breaking, up rocking.
Do flares and all that stuff?
Yeah, well, I did windmills,
Nice.
Floats I was into. I
need some B-roll of that.
Yeah, no. I have some video of me when I was younger.
Okay.
But that's what I grew up in, that era. I grew up in that hip hop era,
Right.
So I get it, and you know what? There's so much drugs available, and there's so much stuff out there.
People are dying in their 40s and 50s from the drugs and alcohol, and not taking care of themselves. I have so many friends just in and out the hospital.
It gets scary, right?
Yeah.
It gets scary.
And then younger people just more and more so to gang violence. And I feel like I just want to push martial arts to the hip hop community. Train. You're feeling down, train, get moving, get active. And self-defense is great, but it's good for your mind, body, spirit. And just get involved, guys. And there's amazing schools everywhere, like this one right here.
There's a place. There's a place for everybody.
Right.
There's so many different styles of martial arts out there. There's a place for everybody. And people say, oh, well, you do a lot of that jumping, and you do this, you do that. One of my students started when he was 50 years old. His name was Fred Christie. That's him right here. One of my students. I put him up on the altar because he was very dear to me. Fred Christie, Shifu Fred, he started when he was 50 years old. He got his black sash when he was 58, 59. And we didn't take it easy on him. 58, 59, got his black sash. Moved down to Myrtle Beach. Opened up a school when he was 60. Had the school for 12 years. And then, unfortunately, he passed away. He had Parkinson's. And it was really rough. It was really, really rough. But he had a school down there for 12 years. So for me, martial arts gave him a whole new life.
Right.
And he had a whole new life experience because of it,
Right.
And doesn't matter how late you start in the game. It's all about starting in the game. Right?
You hear that?
So
no matter how old you are, just get started. You'll get there.
Yeah, man.
I came back to it in my 30s, and now I'm 43, still training. And, yesterday I did a class, everybody's in their 20s. And I'm trying my best to keep up with them. But they're rolling and flipping, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah, dude, it's rough, especially at this age. At the tournament, I did forms and weapons. and then you cool down. And I don't know about you, but once I cool down, I'm like, I'm fucking rickety, dude.
I hate the wait.
Yeah,
waiting to compete.
Waiting is the worst
because you warm up, you stretch, and then you end up waiting 2 hours.
So forms and weapons. Then I waited for like another 2 hours, and then we fought. And I was already cold. So now to warm up again and get into it again is really rough, especially at this age.
Right.
I'm not making excuses; it's just reality, right?
Yeah.
So.
I warm up quick.
So it's rough. See
that shiny head right there?
It's rough. I mean, and then some of these guys are just coming there just to fight. You know what I mean? So here I am putting myself out there, forms and what, making sure I do everything, right? I want to do everything. Want to be able to, Satoshi Nathan Ingram always talks about leading from the front. And to me, lead from the front. How can I expect any of my students to be better than me if they don't watch me leading from the front? And I tell my students this all the time. When a lion cub gets born, it learns its ferocity. It learns everything from its parents. Its parents don't just sit and let the kid do whatever it wants to do. It doesn't work like that. So if we don't revert back to that natural state of teaching and rearing and teaching and rearing and teaching and rearing, then our next generation is not gonna be able to follow what we're doing.
Right.
Because we're not showing them how to lead from the front. And that's it. That's the key. Lead from the front and try to bring back those traditions, you know? You have these people, instead of calling it a martial arts school, they call it gyms. If you have a gym mentality, that's a problem, right?
I hate calling a martial arts school a gym.
Of course, because a gym mentality means that there's no dedication and there's no loyalty. You can go from one gym to the other and you can enjoy yourself.
No spirituality to it.
Nothing. It's a gym. It's a gym. It's a gym. So
Planet Fitness.
So if that's your mindset, then that's your mindset. And today's generation is set to that. There's a lot of people that believe in that mindset of that. You know, it doesn't matter. You don't need to worry. You know, you go in there, you're paying them something, and you're learning a skill from them. You don't need to give them dedication and loyalty. And unfortunately, that's the problem with today's day, right? Because without any order, there's chaos. There's always chaos. And this world has way too much chaos to begin with. We need to kind of have some kind of order. And I believe that it doesn't make me any less of a man, and it doesn't make me any less of a person to have a mentor and to follow my mentor and to believe in him and to be dedicated to that person.
Right.
I
have several in martial arts and in music and in life.
And that's why you are who you are. Because of that, because of your mentors, because you've watched them lead from the front and you've watched them do that, and your experience guides you in that direction and tells you that's where you need to be.
Definitely.
I guess, you know, that's my take on it.
Tell me a little bit about lion dancing and how that incorporates into the training. I know it's hard. I heard they're very heavy, the heads.
So not really. So the heads, they do get heavy after about 30 minutes of moving them.
Okay.
Anything gets heavy after about 30 minutes of moving them. But I gotta say, I had two teachers teaching me lion dance, and one was Shujao Creighton showed me lion dance first, and then Shifu Seng Ao from Hawaii actually showed us lion dance and taught me how to lion dance long time ago. So I would say probably in 2000, I was learning lion dance from Shujao Creighton and also from Shifu Seng Ao. And that's when I really started to, you know, understand the culture a lot more too, right? Because now we're doing lion dance. And the wonderful thing about it is that when the school is slow in the wintertime, lion dance helps us get through all the slow patches, because, you know, the school makes a decent amount of money through doing lion dances for weddings. We do community services. We do all this stuff. We go to schools. You know, and we give back to the community as well. But
that's one of my highlights at DAOSCon. When you do it, if you can do it,
we're doing it this year.
Okay.
We are doing it this year. So
my son, you know, he was really little. I think he was like 1, or maybe less than 1. And he saw it. His eyes lit up like.
Yeah. Lion dance is a big thing, and most all Kung Fu schools should be doing lion dance. That is a cultural part of having a Kung Fu school is doing lion dance. We do that, and we also do, if you look up here and at the computer here, when COVID came around, we jumped on this immediately.
Virtual training.
Yep, and virtual training saved the school from closing. And the minute COVID stopped, I kept it going. So now I've got people in Arizona that I teach, people in Myrtle Beach that I teach, people in Florida that I teach.
Nice.
I've got 2 students, one in Pennsylvania, one in Florida, that are black sashes, and they're online twice a week, 3 times a week, training from where they are, from their college, and they can still train with me. So this has been a tool. Zoom has been a tool since COVID.
Right.
We haven't stopped it, and we're never going to stop it.
I haven't trained online in a while. But,
yeah, it's hard. It really is hard. You got to have the right mentality. You got to have, the earphones so you can hear properly.
Right.
If you got a projector or if you're speakers, and if you're throwing it on a big TV, it makes it easier. You can't do it off a laptop. So you have to have the right environment. But I'm telling you, it's great.
No, I've done it. During COVID, I did it a lot with Professor Dominique Riochet, who's been in the magazine. And then I think there was maybe one seminar that was online, and they split off into break rooms. Yeah,
I'm not good at that yet. My daughter Amber is trying to teach me about break rooms and shit. But,
right. You don't need that if it's just one class.
It's hard. It's hard, especially at my age, trying to use new technology. And the good thing is that the Gen Xers, man, I take stuff and I learn it and I run with it. And I really I use ChatGPT for pictures and fixing pictures. I had this thing online that, with my YouTube channel, and I'm doing like baby foo, where it's a baby talking, and, I'm able to use ChatGPT. I'm able to use the Hedra.
You do good video editing. You do great videos.
I try to make it. Right now we've got 10,000 subscribers.
That's great.
So I'm looking to boost and looking to make videos. And
we're gonna boost together.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's great. And the good thing about DAOS, I'm gonna go back to DAOS. Is the good thing is that all the representatives really try to work with each other as much as they can, and that's important, right? Without that teamwork, without all those people working together, and without that teamwork, it's just never going to work. It's never going to grow. Right. And we have so much communication amongst all of us. We have those meetings. Those meetings are really, they're excellent. They're good because you get to hear different vibes from different people and different ideas.
Right.
And that's another way to actually sprout creativity for the magazine itself. So.
Right. All right. That's about it. Let's, I'm going to change. We're going to do some training, maybe some sticky hands, some forms.
You want to work on the bag? We can work on the bag.
We can do that too. I'm a little achy, but I'll do what I can.
Yeah.
But we'll be right back with some training.
All right. So we're going to be working a la choice. So we're just going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So we're gonna take an old school movement, old traditional movement. We're gonna blend it a little bit, and we're gonna work it. So if we're facing our opponent, we're in front of our opponent. We're here. We're gonna basically do a switching stance. So switching stances for us is we stay within the kill box. I'm in the kill box. Mm-hmm. So if I'm in the kill box, just because I step back, it doesn't mean I'm out of the kill box. I'm just out of range for you, right? So we give the illusion of us actually stepping away from our opponent, but all we're doing is we're doing a switching stance. So from guard stance position, I'm going to use my lead hand, and my lead hand checks. We pluck, which is pull. We grab to secure, and we punch. Okay? So from here, it's just going to be 1, 2, 3. So an old traditional movement, it's 1, 2, 3. That's the old traditional style of doing it, or that's the traditional fundamental style of doing it, because you have to have good footwork and good placement to get the most power out of our hips, out of what we call tan, which is compression and release. So from guard stance position, when we're working our sanda, it's 1, 2, and then 3, we throw the technique. So back to guard again, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, right? Now, instead of leaving the hand underneath, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to come across the top. So we've taken the triple grab, 1, 2, and then the punch. And what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then from here, we pick and then come over the top here. So this movement, if we were here, this movement is here. Woo! Right? Yep. So the minute that hand goes, it brushes, and this comes over the top to hit. So it's easy for someone to block this, but it's harder to block something that way.
Right. It's going over the guard.
Yeah, so this comes this way. So a lot of the times, even if the hands are up, if I go like this, so even if you don't throw, even if your hands are here and I go like this, I'm immediately pushing this way and turning this way. And that's what we're looking to do when we're when we're hitting the bag, right?
So when I spar, I tend to throw that punch all the time.
Yeah, so this is it's what they call an overhand, and this actually is in what we call mufakin, where we come over the top and we're twisting. So we go from here, we go twist. So it's a hit, and then we turn, and we turn into our opponent and block or grab and pull and hit our opponent. So we're taking something that's an old traditional movement and we're applying it. And if you can cross that bridge and be able to form and function, apply what you're doing, what you're learning, then you're on your way, right? So I want you to work on this for right now. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. So from guard, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to switch your stance and come over the top right here. So back to guard. 1, 2, 3. Switch your stance and hit. One more time. Right foot forward. 1, 2, 3. Switch. Come over the top. All right. Right foot forward.
Right foot forward. So
1, 2, 3. Switch your stance and come over the top. Good. And so what you want to do, and so you don't hurt your wrist, is come. Let the fist hit the 2 front knuckles, and let it come down nice and strong. So if you hit here, if you're coming down this way, the energy is gonna go this way, right? So if it follows, if this stays where it is, and you're just turning your hip, you're not loosening up that wrist at all. Yep. Better. So now take it from the right foot and keep your distance, and you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, switch in. Back to guard. Oof. Yeah. Get a little closer. Step back, switch. There you go. One more time. Right foot forward. Get a little closer. Because the first motion has to be the bridge, right? So this is what we call, and you're familiar with martial arts, right? This is a bridge. This is what you learn in Wing Tsun, right? This is your bridge. So if I'm in guard stance, and we're in regular guard stance, so get into a guard stance. Okay, so if we're here, my bridge is when you throw, that's my bridge. That's when I know I can go. So I've got to be close enough for you to make contact. So that is my bridge. Now when that decides to come in, that's where that hits. You see how it's closer, and the techniques are viable because they work off of each other. Yeah.
okay. Let me try. 1, 2, 3. And then
Step back and then come over the top. Good. One more time.
I got to work in that flow.
Yeah, you're okay. Right foot forward. So it's going to be 1. See, so all I'm doing is just leaning back just a little bit to make my bridge, step back and switch, and then come across. And then from here, I step back, block, and come across. There you go. That's it. Right foot forward. Try to work that distance. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Switch. Over the top. Good. One more time. Shane, I'm probably going to use you for a second.
Yeah, Shifu, this is literally just the last 15 seconds.
All right, go ahead.
lock.
One more time. You're doing great. Nice.
I did a little foot shuffle.
Yeah, but that's okay. So now you put your gloves on so that you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then move back. So one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we can set up for even a 7-point combination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then move. And move on that 45. So we've taken all of the traditional movements that we do and we apply it to fighting. And without applying that to fighting, we're missing the boat. And a lot of schools do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're right inside the pocket. Now we're set for the invert. This invert technique here comes from Tantui number 1. Pull back, come in. 1, and we strike. And that's from Tantui number 1. So it's pretty cool that we can take everything that we're doing and utilize it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now overhand right, overhand left, and we can either step back or pivot out of the way. Woo, cool, right? So, Shane, come on up.
I don't know if I want to spar this guy.
So, it's very different than point fighting.
Yeah. I was never a point fighter.
Yeah, so I started in point fighting because there was only karate tournaments around. Then we went into continuous. Then we went into the sanda, which is the full contact. And it changes. It changes your whole mindset. So point fighting is a little difficult. So what I was talking about from here is if he goes to throw, I work the drill, right? So the drill is a sticking drill. So my Shifu tells me when one hand lies, the other one does what? Tells the truth, right? And that's Shifu Raul. So I'm going to work the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you notice, what happens to his hand?
You're crossing them.
Yeah, crosses out. So now we go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we can take our opponent down. And that's the drills that we want to work on. And that's something, that's as much as sticky as we get, right? So here's my bridge, a la Choi. And now I clear and I throw. If he blocks, he gets hit again. If he goes to lock, hit, and then I turn to get out of the way. I switch my stance and I take the lower leg out. So everything that we do revolves around my Shaolin, my traditional Shaolin temple style Kung Fu, and my 7-star, which is also Shaolin Kung Fu as well. It's a Northern Shaolin Mantis, right? That's what 7-star is. So it is very, very cohesive. Very cohesive.
What kind of throws do you guys do and locks?
So part of Sanda type of throws that way or without gloves. It all depends, right? So the same thing that we do with our throws is if we're here and he throws and I come in and he blocks, this is the throw. Right? So I don't know the names in Japanese. I just know that these throws are very, very similar.
Yeah.
These throws are very similar. So now when we're inside here and he blocks, I come through this way to bring my opponent to the floor. So that's our that would be an underhook, right? That would be an underhook. The other techniques we do here is this way, which is a grab throw this way, right?
That's a harai in Japanese.
What is it?
Harai.
Okay, so
the leg makes it harai.
Yeah, that's exactly. So and this just comes from here to bring our opponent to the floor. So a lot of the stuff that we do has to be, it has to work, right? The ti da na shui, the shui has to work in everything that we do, and the way we get our power is very, very similar. So sometimes we come up that way, other times we come from the bottom. So we come here and take the leg out. So we go here, 2, 3 here, and take the leg out.
Kouchi in Japanese.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the human body can only do so many things. It's the same technique.
It's all the same, right? Course, so another thing that we do from here is just what we call a lift, right? This is just a hook lift so that we can hit our opponent this way. So we get in tight. So we go here and we hit our opponent, and it kind of puts our opponent in a squared position. So now if I hit my opponent really hard, if you notice, when I hit, he comes up off his toes. He digs the heels, and that causes the body to fall, right? So these are these are important drills that we do as well, right?
What about locks?
So locks are all very similar. The only thing that's weird about locks is that when you're fighting in Sanda or you're fighting in Kung Fu, locking somebody means somebody had to grab, right? Somebody had to grab, and then then you can apply the lock, right? Depending on what you want to do. When we come from grab locks, if I'm here or if my opponent grabs my hand to hit me, now we can utilize the grab locks and do stuff like that, right?
Right.
But from simple grabs here, this is the famous lock that everybody does.
Yep.
Right, that brings everybody down. This motion here is actually in our form called Dao Gun. Right? It's Dao Gun. It's right there, and then we strike our opponent. So the movements are there in everything that we do. Even this in Muay Thai Kin, we have Tan Tui number 3, which is really a grab and a pull this way. That's our Tan Tui number 3. So Tan
That's
Tui
a lock, and then you have like an arm bar.
Yeah, so Tan Tui number 3 is basically here and pull. So I'm using my left hand to push and using my right hand to pull across this way, right? So if my opponent's here, I'm doing this. And I'm pulling to bring my opponent in this position here, right? And then we can run our opponent. Come back. We can run our opponent to the floor. So from here, we come this way, and then we lean to bring our opponent to the floor. So these are the things that we do. And the beautiful thing about it is it's all very, very similar. So thank you, Papa. So we're more similar.
That's your son?
That's my youngest son.
Nice.
And that is my... I call him my adopted son.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of my adopted sons.
Okay.
So everything that we do has to work. And if it doesn't work, we go back to the drawing board and we try to fix it. But we're more similar. Every style is more similar than they are different. And unfortunately, in today's day, everybody tries to separate so much of themselves and say this style is better than that style, and karate is better than this, and MMA is the win-all be-all, which it's not, because it's a sport. And out in the street, when you decide that you want to take somebody down and they got three of his friends there, and you're rolling around on the floor, you're getting stomped out, right? So, and I don't know about you, but
too.
I carry blades. My wife carries blades, and if I'm in a situation where I need to pull that blade out, somebody's going to the hospital, they're going to the morgue, right? Yeah. So I got to go home at the end of the night. And that's the whole thing. So nothing is the win-all, be-all. And I think that if people start separating so much, right? Because you've got BJJ guys and you got judo guys. And a lot of the stuff that the judo guys do, BJJ adopted from the judo guys, because judo was around before BJJ was.
The guy who went to teach the Gracies was under Jigoro Kano. He was a student of judo and also older jiu-jitsu like Daito Ryu Aikijitsu.
Yeah, and so, even the older style of jiu-jitsu is just seizing and lock techniques. It's just china. It's just Shaolin style china, seizing and locking, and that's where that Japanese style jiu-jitsu comes from. And then you have Shirin-Juru Kempo. Shirin-Juru Kempo is basically a Shaolin system. They still wear the robes. They still wear the knots and everything else. They still wear the same old traditional Shaolin robes. Right. And they train their Shaolin, and they're specific in what they do, which is all that seizing and locking techniques and whatnot. But it's great, and it's a big part of Shaolin. And I just think that whether you're doing karate, whether you're doing Kung Fu, whether you're doing Jiu-Jitsu, it's all under the same community. And here we go again, right? We want to get back to understanding community and understanding that we're more similar than we are different, and stop trying to separate and segregate everybody.
Definitely.
I think that's a major problem that we're all having inside the martial arts and outside the martial arts.
Definitely.
So
I think I need to feel some of those locks real quick.
Okay. Yeah. So
from a cross hand grab.
So this is here. Right. So the more that we twist and bring it to the floor and point, the more that we understand the lock. So it doesn't. The more you grab, the better it is because it becomes a tighter motion.
Right.
Right. For me, locking is a great thing, but I want to be able to still strike my opponent. Right. And then right here we have this lock, right? We have that wrist lock, and we stay in tight, and we utilize that. That
I was ready to go.
Yeah, I'm not that instructor. So, yeah. So
those locks are all very familiar with.
Yeah.
That's Jiu-Jitsu 101.
So yeah, and I mean even from same hand grab this way, we work this here, and then we come up this way and we use the goose.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
Nice.
they're all the same. So the system is not different. From here, hey Shifu, how are you? From here, we can get this lock in here, or we can go this way, and we can utilize that lock. And this we can utilize either here or come around this way, and then go into the choke. So yeah,
and I'm not. He's really doing the locks. I'm really going down. Still feeling them. You know.
Yeah, but I'm not throwing nobody. A lot of the drills that we do are sticky, but they're more of getting things out of the way, right? So if we were here and you threw a 1-2 here, right? 1-2 here, that would be the motion. So the motion is going to be stick, and then now come in across this way, and then pull, and then hit my opponent. That's what I'm looking for.
Yep.
So the minute you check that leg, your opponent does this, and once the toes come up, that right hand comes in, and that's what we're utilizing. That's exactly what we do. So cool. Feel good?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. One last time, DJ j-ronin, All Elements TV, rolling with Ronin. Shout out to Shifu Greg Zilb. Thank you, Shifu.
Thank you.
You saw the forms, you saw the techniques. I'm a little out of sorts, otherwise you would have thrown me around a little bit more. But amazing stuff. My fellow DAOS representative, we appreciate you so much. Please give us all your social media information, your Instagram, your YouTube channel, and where the school is, and your website for your school as well.
Website, shaolinlohan.com/contact if you want to get a hold of me, but the shaolinlohan.com. We are Authentic Shaolin Kung Fu on the YouTube channel. We are Authentic Shaolin on Instagram. TikTok, I think, is Authentic Shaolin Kung Fu. You can find us there as well, or under Shifu Greg, SHIFUGREGG. You can find me there. And that's pretty much it.
Well, Facebook.
Facebook, the same thing. Look up Shifu Greg or look up Authentic Shaolin Kung Fu and you'll find me. So we
follow him, keep in touch with him, subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure, Ronin. And I try to share and try to have my guys jump on you as on your page as much as I can.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And thank you for coming down. You traveled a good distance to come here and hang out and exchange and share. And that's what this community is about. That's what DAOS is about. That's why the magazine is so amazing. That's what our community is about, and that's what we need to do to spread it out to the rest of the community out there. So thank you very much. And guys, thank you so much from everybody of all of Ronin's guys and ladies. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.